Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Your Natural Healer channel. My name is Tammy, and in this episode of our crystal educational series, obviously, we're going to talk about quartz. Now, just be careful real quickly with this crystal. Do not call it clear quartz. There is another crystal that looks very similar that is called clear quartz, and that is better known as Iceland or Icelandic spar. So they look exactly the same. So unless you really know what you're looking at, a lot of times people will mix them up, and people drives me crazy when people say, "Oh, I have a piece of clear quartz." No, 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 no. It's not clear quartz, just regular quartz. So anyway, we are going to learn all about quartz and what it does for us and how it affects our everyday world, actually. And then we'll talk about chakras and zodiac and planets and elements. And then we'll dive deeper and talk about the healing energy of quartz, specifically physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Now, before we move on, always have to do the housekeeping. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd ask you, please, if you could do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button. It really, 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 really does make a difference in that YouTube algorithm. In the YouTube algorithm, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And one of the nice things about that is then you get to bypass these commercials. So anyway, if you could smash the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And do that for any YouTuber that you follow. And then also you can turn off notifications. This way your phone is not getting totally blown up. I get it. I do the same thing. I don't want my phone blowing up every time somebody posts something on YouTube, even though I want to follow them. So just turn the notifications off, and that's all right. Again, uh, smash that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you leave a comment. And just ask, be kind. The world is too negative. We don't need all that. So let's go ahead and dig in, and then we'll talk some more at the end. All right. Right, so there's a lot of information about quartz because there's so many types. And I don't want to call it clear quartz because there's a different crystal called clear quartz, which is also called Icelandic spar. So just when you hear quartz, this is the crystal they're talking about. Okay, so igneous rock composed of oxygen and silicon atoms that crystallize around magma or hydrothermal vents. That's how it's created. It is the most abundant mineral on the face of this earth, and it was first recorded in about 300 BC. So, as you see, as far as humans, we've known about it for quite a long time. Now, it can be found in two forms. The first form being called macrocrystalline, and that means it's being within any granular structure within another rock matrix or a large crystal structure. And a few examples are rose quartz, Hermamere diamond, quartz, amethyst, aventurine, and tiger's eye. Now, the second form that it can be found in is called cryptocrystalline, and another way to say that is chalcedony. Chalcedony, I hate saying that crystal's name because I want to call it chalcedony, but it's actually chalcedony. All right, and cryptocrystalline is a group of smaller, more compact quartz. And some examples are carnelian, cryophase, bloodstone, jasper, as well as flint. All right, so in regards to quartz, the International Mineralogical Association has broken down the color by two classifications. First, quartz colored by minor elements built into the crystal body, or also known as lattice. And some examples are smoky quartz, amethyst, and citrine. And then it's also determined by colored by inclusions of minerals or fluids while the quartz is growing. And examples of this would be blue quartz, rose quartz, green quartz, and anhydrous quartz. Now, quartz is used in cell phones, medical technology, clocks, and concrete. There are so many products in our normal day-to-day life that uses quartz that we don't even realize. In the spiritual community, it's adorned on the top of pyramids, and it's also used on wands. I have a Reiki Master wand, and the two ends are pointed quartz. So it is very well utilized in both the spiritual and the non-spiritual community. Now, I love quartz, and one of the reasons I definitely chose it as part of the crystal toolbox is because it is utilized for all of our chakras, all of our seven main chakras, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, also our soul star chakra and our earth star chakra. And those two are more advanced chakras. So if you're not familiar with them, um, this is not the class to discuss those in. But again, I wanted you to be aware. And as far as vibrational, it vibrates to the number 4. So if you're into numerology, um, you can now understand that. And again, numerology, that's a tangent and a whole nother course in itself. But quartz, I just love it. So, you know, anytime you're meditating or you feel like maybe your chakra's off, and you can tell this to your clients as well. If you don't have something and you have quartz, grab it and use it. It is very versatile, and that's why one of the reasons I really love it. All right, as far as astrology goes, again, versatile. That's all I can say about quartz. Versatile. Zodiac, every single sign. So if you're doing any kind of zodiac sign work, you can always go to quartz. Planets, all the planets, including the sun and the moon. Again, if you're working with any one of the planet energies, quartz, you can use it. And then the elements storm. Now, normally, when we talk about elemental energy, if you know anything like the pentagram, a lot of people think the pentagram is satanic, but the pentagram actually represents 5 elements, and those are earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. In the physical world, we do talk about some other elements, the element of storm, so lightning, and you know, it's threatening, and but at the same time you can't touch it, and it encompasses kind of everything. So that's why, again, this is just the astrology that it's associated with. It's everything. So it's fantastic crystal, and I'm so excited. If you've never worked for it, I'm so excited for you to work with quartz. All right, let's talk first about the emotional healing properties of quartz. And first, it allows us to be more honest. And I'm not saying that you have to be an outright pathological liar, but it allows us especially to be honest with ourselves and others. And I'm not talking about being, you know, cruel to people. But especially when you're working on shadow work, sometimes we find it hard to look in a mirror at ourselves. And quartz can definitely help you with being more honest with yourself. It also reveals false beliefs and negative choices that don't serve us well. So again, it's that being honest with ourselves, looking inward, because a lot of times, we stick by our beliefs, even though deep inside of us, we know that they're not good, or that we've made some choices. There's a lot of people that stay in relationships that aren't serving them well, and it's a bad choice, and they know it, but they don't get out of it. But again, things of that nature, quartz can help us with realizing, okay, you know what, this is not good for me, and I need to change my situation or my thinking or what have you. And it shows us also where growth is still needed. So again, when we're doing that shadow work, um, or for a client that needs to do some type of shadow work. It can really help us with that emotional aspect of it. At the same time, it encourages us to let go of victim mentalities. There's so many times that, if we're dealing with trauma, past trauma, whether in a past life, but I'm talking about and more so in this life that we remember. So if you're working with some type of trauma, you know, it's letting go of the victim mentality, because for some of us, it's that woe is me, boo hoo 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 hoo. And while yes, you have those wounds, it's that drama llama syndrome. And this can help us to let go of that type of mentality. It also aids us in being less judgmental of ourselves, less judgmental of other people, of other situations, just less judgmental in general. Quartz helps us remain neutral when faced with emotionally charged situations. So, you're at work and something happens, and, maybe normally you would blow a gasket. And in this situation, if you have quartz with you, you know what? You're going to remain neutral. You're not going to blow up, and you're going to keep your emotions in check. And then again, that doesn't mean suppressing. It's just getting rid of that drama llama syndrome and really saying, okay, if I'm going to blow up, is this something I control? Why am I going to blow up and get all irate over something that I have no control over? And learning that, oh my gosh, that is huge in your spiritual journey. And then finally, it helps us easily understand and resolve problems. So again, it helps ground us. It helps us remain calm. It helps us feel our emotions, but then determine, are these emotions valid, or is it drama llama syndrome, or what have you. All right, spiritually speaking, it is a wonderful crystal as well. I cannot say enough things about quartz. It is actually the strongest enhancing stone in the mineral kingdom. And what do I mean by that? If you use quartz with any other crystal, it will amplify that other crystal's energy. That's why for people that do grids, it's used in grids. If in Reiki, I use quartz quite often. My Reiki wand is quartz. That's why I have a quartz crystal ball. I have a quartz pendulum, because it really enhances all the other crystals that are out there. It also helps reignite our true identity while showing us the path towards enlightenment. So again, that's working with um, that third chakra being our authentic self, working with our higher chakras, opening us up towards enlightenment, which is the ultimate goal on our spiritual paths. It amplifies vibrations and energy. So I already said that it's a great enhancing stone with other crystals, but it also amplifies, as I said, vibration as well as energy. So that is why crystal singing bowls are made of quartz, because it amplifies that vibration. It is why it's used in Reiki healing, because it amplifies the Reiki healing energy. There's a thing, pranic healing. Pranic healers use crystal quartz in their practice, their healing practice. It's also great for manifestation work, as it helps supercharge that energy to manifest our dreams and our wishes. It awakens and supercharges our chakra system. So it gets our chakras spinning correctly at the correct speed in the correct direction, really allowing the various frequencies and the various light energies to come within our chakras for the ultimate healing. It dispels malignant energies within us. I'm sorry. Um, and again, that's why you can have quartz with other crystals as well, because if it picks up something negative, the quartz will help dispel of that negative energy within ourselves or another crystal or an object or anything of that nature. All right, I already mentioned this in the last one for Reiki healers and people who practice pranic healing. Quartz is considered to be the master healer. So that's why healers use pointed quartz. Sometimes it'll be double pointed, and that'll be discussed in advanced crystals. But it is considered a master healer. And it can be used for any condition. Doesn't matter what it is. Headaches, backaches, circulations problems, high blood pressure problems, reproductive problems. If you don't have one of the other crystals available that we've talked about, you can use clear quartz. Again, and I say this, and you're probably sick of it, but I have to say it. I have to be responsible, and so do you, especially if you take this on into a professional context. Again, crystal healing, it is not a substitute for medical healing. If you have pain, any type of medical issue, please see your doctor. If it's an emergency, call 911. Crystal healing is not to replace medical healing, it's to be used in conjunction with it. So basically, when in doubt, go for the quartz. Can't go wrong. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook if you aren't already. And also check out my two websites. First is yournaturalhealer.com. You can check out the services tab, in which there's everything from different packages of Reiki to combination packages. There's numerology reports, birth chart analysis, tarot readings, and all kinds of things. So check that out. And then you can also check out my products tab, where you'll find crystals, essential oil, sage, and all kinds of metaphysical products. Additionally, if you go to the other tab, you can go directly to the Your Natural Healer apparel. We got some really cool shirts. We have Your Natural Healer shirts, and then we've got some funny shirts, and there's totes and coffee mugs. So check that out as well. If you're interested in learning more about spirituality, I do offer courses on my educational website, which is lotuscenter.online.com. You'll find courses, certifications, as well as webinars and special events there. So make sure you check that out as well. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go and go have a fantastic day. Remember, live your best life, but do it the natural way. Namaste.